Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Last time we lost connection to the service and ended that way. We need to get, let's see, 3 more mage victories and 3 more hunter victories. And then somebody has sent me a friend request, so let's accept that. There is definitely an issue I've come across as far as friend requests with Steam. Let's hop into playing some hunter games today. Go. Kind of just focus on hunter, I guess. Turns out the number of friends you can have is based on the level you can have. Now, currently at my level, I can have like 415 friends. So I think you're probably fine, and could have as many friends as you possibly could ever find on Steam. And every time you go up a level, it seems like it gives you maybe 5. So you're not going to get up to probably 1,000 super easy. Going up in level requires you to craft badges. Oops, something about this deck. I must have changed my hunter deck and not updated it. I think I've said that before. 2. Let's go ahead and play this first.
I don't have to be a princess.
So the craft badges, you need trading cards to get trading cards unless people are willing to trade them or give them to me. Would require things similar to playing more games to get half of the trading cards needed for a badge, and then buying the other trading cards off the market for 7 cents or more each, which there is, like, through a lot of work, it seems like there's a way you could potentially make a few pennies, and I will just leave it at a few pennies. From, let's see, kill this, and space. You can make a few dollars trading things and selling things. It is a system on the Steam market where you can trade gems for booster packs, for emoticons, for skin things, and because it's potentially a confusing combination of currency exchanges, you could probably trick people into paying for things and selling for things. But you're not going to be a millionaire doing that. If you spent 40 hours a week doing this, you're gonna probably still not be able to pay the bills. And I've gone crazy with the trading card and badge system in Steam. It's a garbage system. Anybody with their right mind would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. But that's anybody with a right mind, I suppose. But it is also the only way to get more friends, and so I want to get more friends, so I want to get all my badges up to their maximum levels, which means for, like, the Talus Principle is the first one that I've gotten to the maximum level, and I just did it by spending, in this winter sale, I spent like $10 just buying trading cards, just 7 cents each time. It's like 7 cents, 7 cents, 7 cents to get more trading cards. And the sales badges keep on going forever, though the other badges only can be leveled up 5 times. So you can get a complete set to get the level 1 badge, then you have to get a whole second complete set to get level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and sometimes it's level 5, sometimes I thought it was level 3 was the maximum your badge could do. So for a game like the Talus Principle, I only could get 500 XP, which raised my level probably 5 times. And that's the maximum. The next thing that might raise my level more is if I got a foil badge, but I bet the foil badge would only give me 100 too. And the foil variants are just more expensive, more garbage things that, again, you shouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. So, yeah. But I am in a unique situation where I do want to have enough friend slots so as many people can friend me as possible. And I know there's tons of people out there that probably don't give two flips about the badges. And so if they want to trade with me and give me all their trading cards for some terribly unfair trade in which I give them nothing, or maybe a very small like background or emoticon or something, I would be super appreciative of that. In all realistic things, you're only gonna have at most 100 friends, and that's if you are super loose about who you call a friend on Steam. But as a YouTuber, I kind of want more. It doesn't really help me to have more. I just kind of want to do it just to involve people. It's like, hey, if you want to be a friend, and if you want to make a legitimate trade, I'm totally down with that. If somebody wanted to friend me and offer me one like trading card for another, just that equal swap, I would totally consider it. But during the sales, I am thinking I'm gonna fill in all of the badges I can. So I've caught up now. I've spent $10 in trading cards, and next summer sale I'm gonna just play the game to get that badge as much as possible, and then fill in any games I've played between now and then that I've gotten all the card drops I can already get for free. Play this.
Job's done.
End the turn. Darn it. So yeah, I've gone crazy with the trading card things. Got up to several levels, and when you go up in levels, there's a chance you get a booster pack. So in theory, I guess if you got up to like a level 1 billion, maybe that increases the chance you get a booster pack, and maybe you could at that level install be getting booster packs every day, selling them, making enough money. But the booster packs only go for like 30 cents, 50 cents. Maybe a few games they go for a couple dollars. You'd have to be getting 40, 50 booster packs every day. Your level would have to be so high. It kind of starts to make sense why the person that friended me has like 174 levels. They're sitting there just going crazy with that, getting more booster packs because they've already hit a high enough level that they actually see those. That would make more sense. At the very, a little bit. So yeah, I'm trying to do that. As far as the winter sale, I didn't buy very many games at all, and when I bought games, I either did not spend enough money to get any trading cards, or I never saw it. Maybe I bought every single Lego thing. It seems like I'm sort of committing to a 2 o'clock time slot that's just going to cover all Lego games. Even if I'm not really committing to that, the truth of the matter is that
Job's done.
The Lego games only go down to $5, $4.99. I do not expect that in the next year any of those games are going to go any less than $4.99. Now, one of them I got in a Disney mega pack, so I have a bunch of other Disney games that I'm putting to the side. It's going to be a hard, maybe I'll start doing some Disney kids games too. I don't know, it's a hard thought to think through. Depends on the free time and all that. Mostly I think I would want to exhaust all the Lego games before I went to just straight up Disney games, because some of those are gonna be awful. We know, kids games, a significant portion of them are awful. Let's do this. Do this. Give me something good. Alright.
Well played.
I got so lucky there. I got so lucky. So lucky. Geez, we're gonna have all 3 victories that we needed done pretty soon here. We are 150 over 5,000, and we've already bought our arena run. So, ideally, it'd be nice if we were at 300 with the arena bought purchased. My goal is to just let that climb and climb and climb. Hopefully, eventually get to something along the lines of 10,000 between each new expansion. That would be great. If we could consistently do that, opening 100 packs is something that would interest me. Man, 2 of these.
Job's done.
Don't really need 2 of those. I'm gonna have a hard time playing even one of them so early in the game. I got Hearthstone because everybody's talking about it and I wanted to play it, and so I didn't get a great discount on that. I got some of the old Indiana Jones point-and-click adventure games, which I'm just kind of paving. I'm laying the path there for eventually, once I get rid of all the Telltale games and decide I'm not going to play any more of those, I'll come back and say, hey, let's look at some of these old school point-and-click adventure games and play these. Or maybe I'll never cover them and I'll just have them in my Steam account, which is great because I really don't want to spend the effort trying to go find those games and play them off the ROMs and discs that I have somewhere.
Today, I don't have to be a princess.
So, yeah, rebuying games, getting it all on the Steam account. Did not go above 200, I think I'm up to 283 games now. Maybe if I went to 300 I'd get a new badge for that, I don't know. It's definitely going to get harder and harder to receive badges for things. Let's go ahead and hit this one because I want to kill this pretty soon. It's gonna get harder and harder to buy games, just in general. I'm running out of options before you start hitting really silly thoughts. There you go, whenever this one takes damage, doubles attack, I'll take that.
Job's done.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Next sale, I'm probably just am gonna try and fill things out more. Let's see. Here, and then here. Here, and then here. In the turn. Summon a random beast companion. I need scavenging hyena so I can really get these guys up. Yeah, I don't think I got anything else. There was about 4 or 5 times I put things in the shopping cart and then the shopping cart got emptied and disappeared, and each time it happened I could not really for the life of me remember what I'd put in there. Definitely some games were thought of but weren't on sale enough or weren't on sale at all, and I am quickly moving to that point where it's just like, maybe I should just play Fallout 4. I mean, maybe I should just pay the full amount and play that while that 2 weeks or 3 weeks in which everybody was really interested in Fallout 4. And I still want to play Fallout 4, it's just, you know, the interest has kind of gone from that now. Everybody knows what it is. It's Skyrim. It's just same stuff that they were doing before. They didn't really improve much or do much. Let's go ahead and play the mage now. We need at least one more mage victory. We could go to the shaman after that. And I still want to play it because I would rather play Fallout 4 than go play Fallout 3. Just as a choice, but I already have Skyrim, and so kind of need to do that. I think if I started a coverage of Skyrim pretty fast,
You asked for it.
sometime this year, they probably won't come out with an expansion of Skyrim for another year at least. And it won't be called Skyrim, it will be called Elder Scrolls something else. And
Job's done.
that's probably how I'm gonna go with it. I would prefer to play in the universe of Fallout over the Skyrim universe, which is a mostly generic fantasy universe. But I may end up hanging my hat on the Elder Scrolls universe instead. Which kind of stinks. There is the Witness. I have messed up on that point. Absolutely just totally messed it up. Where Jonathan Blow, I believe, The Witness is coming out January 26th. It is a homage to Myst. I purchased Myst and Myst, Myst, and it's called Real Myst is the remake because it used Real Engine or Real 3D, whatever it's called. It's an old technology at this point for the remake, and the real truth is that if you're gonna remake Myst for a second time, you need to do it in Unreal Engine, which is probably what Real turned into. Let's go and play this. There is a side project of people that are trying to remake every single little asset of Riven, the sequel to Myst.
Reporting for duty.
And it's kind of weird because it's not Cyan that's doing it. Although they've tacitly at least admitted that they're cool with it and they're helping them with it, because I don't think they have enough people on their team or enough skill, honestly, to get it remade or interested. I don't think they have really any interest in milking Riven anymore.
Well met.
So, anyways, my point to that is I should have totally been played, which I plan to do eventually, is play Myst for like one episode and go, okay, here's what Myst looked like. and then here's Miss Real, and then we're gonna play all of Real
2
Mist
heroes enter.
all the
1
way through.
leaves.
Let's see.
Vaporization commencing.
Killed that one. He's trying to beat me with a Murloc deck, and if I'm not careful, he will. So, yep. What was I saying? I've lost my thought process. Yeah, I should have played Mist and had it recorded and had it uploaded for January. That totally should be the thing that's covering. And as we're kind of moving on to new games, I kind of want to play The Witness, and I kind of want to play The Witness as soon as it comes out, so that would mean full cost. Nobody's going to put that on sale unless it is just announced horribly and people know it's going to be terrible somehow, and I guess if that happens, then
knowledge is power, and
I probably don't even want to play the game. So I hope that's not what happens for any game. Are there any other new games that are coming out anytime soon? February is supposedly supposed to be really packed with games. We'll see.
Reporting for duty.
And I don't know if I'm gonna buy new games. There's still... It's still only a lot of games on Steam that are old that I could get, that I could fill in. There's a whole Star Wars group of games that I could do. Let's see. This, and then if I do that, I can't do this too. So let's do this. Is there anybody?
I learn.
That was wrong. If I'd done one to him, I could have actually killed him.
Here's what you're
Could have actually pulled out of that. Oh well, doesn't matter. End the turn, let him win.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, so what's the next big game? Mirror's Edge 2. Kinda would like to play that. I'm not sure. Maybe, here's a thought, just off the top of my head, just having this thought. Maybe what I could do is get pre-recorded versions of the previous games. Yeah, I want to do like Tomb Raider, the Rise of Tomb Raider. I want to play that, sure. If I had done the Tomb Raider reboot, and then had that recorded, had that scheduled, and then as soon as Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out for PC, I believe in January, if not February, early February, buy that at full price, play that, and have that air right after.
Jaina
That would be
versus
great.
Garrosh.
That would be great.
Victory
I would get this magical
You asked for it.
buffer zone between playing the same game too close together, because I would have had the original or the prequel game recorded many months in advance, and yet my footage shows me playing the old game and the new game back to back.
Ready for action.
So yeah, maybe that's where I'd try to squeeze it in, although that would be a slight shift, just an ever so slight shift on when I released footage, because like my intention is, if I know Mirror's Edge 2 is coming out, my intention is to release Mirror's Edge 1 slightly before, but not be completely done with the series by the time it by the time Mirror's Edge 2 comes out. If I'm completely done with the series by the time the Mirror's Edge 2 comes out, if I'm completely done with Mirror's Edge 1, well then potentially half of my audience is never even going to see that series, and it's not going to benefit from any excitement from Mirror's Edge 2 coming out.
Master of magics.
So it's almost like I would want to be a day later, but even a day later would be too much. So I don't know. It would be a shift. I would have all, if I knew I was gonna buy Mirror's Edge 2, I'd have all Mirror's Edge 1, try to have that all released before Mirror's Edge 2 came out. Then the day the second Mirror's Edge 2 comes out, I would start airing the other one, which means a dangerous potential there of
Knowledge is power, and I know a lot.
Vaporization commencing.
there being a gap, because if I say got Mirror's Edge 2 and then couldn't record enough videos fast enough or couldn't record videos at all, then there would just be no footage there at all. That would really stink. But it is an interesting thought. I guess a slight goal to go for, as we're working towards just playing new games and only new games, which is the eventual final goal. After we've covered all the old games, we've got new games. And then I am getting games like the Disney games that I may never play those, and I was thinking to myself, well, theoretically, if I never die, if I have an infinite amount of time and ability to play video games, theoretically I will eventually go back and play this. I'll just be bored into it. So I'm moving forward on the theory that I'm never going to I'm going to have an infinite amount of time. But the reality of the situation is more, it's just going to fall lower and lower on the list of games. Eventually, I will kick the bucket, and there will be a ton of games I never played, which is fine. As long as it's not too crazy. As long as it doesn't start becoming a just silly situation of I'm going to summer sales and buying hundreds of games that I have no intention of playing just to get trading cards or just to have them. I bought the full Valve pack, and like I don't think I'm ever gonna play any of the Counter-Strike Go games. There's like 8 of them. Probably never gonna touch any of them. And I'm fine with that, because what I wanted out of Valve was it was still cheaper to buy all them as one big group than it was to try and buy everything separately. So I'm okay with of that being the situation. Like one of the games we have is Left 4 Dead beta. Am I gonna go cover Left 4 Dead beta? Can I even play that game? How is it in any way different or interesting or useful to mention it? Let's see.
My seal
Do
for
this.
Argon.
And then let's see. This. Attack here. Attack here. Return. See what else is going on. Know what is going on, but now that we are finally getting back to TV having potentially something on TV,
My seal for Argon.
We definitely have that opportunity that we can fall into the TV trap and spend a bunch of time watching things. So I'm gonna have to try and avoid that as best I can. So I have to hit him and then waste one of these on him. We could do this. Go ahead.
Into the breach.
We got to a late game here. I don't know how we did it. But we got to a late game. Summon one more, please.
Into the breach.
There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Swag Lord 98. So let's see if we can think of any other games.
What you want?
The Witness poses an interesting question, although it very well might just be like the Talos Principle was.
The breach.
Interesting premise. Didn't hold my attention enough to play the DLC or play it a second time over the fact that it was so graphically demanding that it messed me up.
Let's
Now,
get
no guaranteeing this might happen, but it might happen. Is that I might end up, in an effort to save time and just things, I might end up being able to make the same level footage if things change in my life in a way that would actually try to lower that number. But I might be able to avoid doing that if I can just hit these guys in the face. If I start doing Hearthstone recordings off my old laptop that I was doing before. So not a lot's gonna really change there. I would potentially maybe use a different microphone, or maybe not. It would be kind of weird to take my Xbox 360 controller and its little headset that plugs in only
€2 enter.
to the
One
really small input. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just hit this guy in the face. I think I can just raise the but yeah, that is a possibility. I might start recording episodes of Hearthstone on my old computer, which isn't really going to change or affect anything. The graphics should look the same, theoretically. The audio shouldn't change drastically. It might change a little bit. If I am recording this, then it may be very well that I will be recording these things in a car over maybe a public Wi-Fi, not in my house, but effectively. That's what I'm saying here. It will be weird. I will grant you that. Let's see. 10 plus 6 is 16 plus 4 is that. So we gotta kill this. So yeah, that whole bit of whatever might be very weird. But it is much better if I end up
What now?
well, you know what, it's not gonna make any sense if I keep dancing around it. there is a good chance that my disabled family member is going to have to go on dialysis. So dialysis is pretty critical. You're getting very close to dying in a lot of ways. If you're on dialysis, you can live on dialysis for many years, but don't expect to live 30 or 40 years on dialysis type thing. 10, 15, 20 maybe. 30, 40, 50, no.
Jaina.
And
You
when
asked for it.
when somebody's on
It is
dialysis,
on.
they effectively have their blood has to be filtered for between 3 to 5 hours 3 times a week. So, and you need pretty much somebody to drive you there.
Job's done.
In my case, I have to drive my disabled family member everywhere because they just cannot drive anymore at all. So
Ready for action!
there is a thought that I could drop them off and come back 3 to 5 hours later. That's probably really rude and offensive and probably not going to work. But there's a chance that then it would probably, just in the commute, mean I could come back and do maybe an hour and a half of recording, but of just driving around.
What you want?
So if 3 times a week I'm losing up to 15 hours plus, even more potentially, that's a lot of time of recording gone. And so,
Master of magic.
Job's done.
so I mean, I have been dancing around it, and I didn't want to give away too much details about someone who's not me and who hasn't particularly given me permission to talk about it. But that's the situation. And so my thought here to get around it is to, when I take them for dialysis, I would go into the car and just record Hearthstone. Could I record other games? That gets into a very dangerous level. That means I would be playing games that would have trouble running potentially. But it might work, because if I think about it now, we've got the You Don't Know Jack song, which again is part of the reason why I'm even covering You Don't Know Jack, is because
Vaporization
of the
commencing.
thought that I may lose a bunch of time, so getting a bunch of footage out early might work very well. You Don't Know Jack runs at 640 by 480. It kind of makes great sense that I could record that in a computer. Plus, unlike Hearthstone, You Don't Know Jack doesn't even require internet connection. I could sit there and play game after game after game with no internet, as long as the battery on my laptop lasts, which should be forever if it's plug it into a car charger. That works well. And if I thought of some other games, I could probably think of a decent amount of other games that would play just fine at 1080p.
Time runs out on me.
So yeah, there's some ways I could work with it, but it's gonna definitely be a struggle. It's not just total free time that I would wish I had. That ideally I would have an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of no responsibility. So I could use my free time in any stupid way I saw fit. Which, of course, the stupid way I see fit now is being a YouTube video game critic. But yeah, and again, I don't know how to say this, because I'll just tell you straight up. There's 2 ways I could go with the whole dialysis thing. Is like, I could try to milk it and say, make donations to me, help support me, and that would help me and my family member a lot. Or I can just say, don't do that because that's cheesy and it's just using a bad situation to your advantage, and both are true. Both are totally true. I would love to get donations. I would love to have more money. I'd love for that to be a consistent thing. So
Time runs out on me.
my family member happens to die, then I can maintain my lifestyle more easily as it is. But yeah, it's kind of cheesy too. So whatever. Now she's on dialysis for kidney things. In theory, people who need to go on dialysis could get a kidney transplant, but my family member has a whole range of other medical problems, and that completely eliminates her from even being considered to be on the kidney donor list. So that's that. We certainly considered it. I certainly was going to at least go through the tests to see how well my kidneys were working to potentially donate. But the doctors very quickly said, don't even bother, we wouldn't even consider you, dialysis is your only option. But if you are in that situation, I would highly recommend everybody go get what is called the filtration test on there if you can. If the health insurance is willing to pay for that. Because even if you decide later that you're not willing to give up a kidney, heck, it is a free test that most people do not get that will tell you how well your kidneys yourself are working. And it's better to know than to 2 years later go, oh, actually my kidney's failing too, and if I'd known that for 2 years I would have been able to proactively try to slow that decline or do something about that. So, free test. The same is true for donating blood, which is a much more common thing. Is if you donate blood, they test your blood for several things, and you can get those lab results, I'm pretty sure. So they'll at the very least know what blood type you are if you don't know that, which I don't particularly know off the top of my head what blood type I am, which is a terrible thing if you ever end up in the hospital. You're like sitting there going, oh, I don't have a clue what my blood type is. What, should I? But they will also screen you for several diseases and such, and it's better to know than not know. Oh, is he gonna use it? Darn it. I guess it goes without saying if I say dialysis is a step closer to dying, that my family member is a step closer to dying, and it's been somewhat a long time coming, probably to the point where I don't fully sit there and admit it to myself that it's going to happen, but it's probably going to happen. There's not a real way around it. And the best I can hope is that we try our best to make them as comfortable as possible for as long as possible, and that for me personally try my best to establish myself and land on my feet whenever it does happen.
I'm ready. I'm not ready.
Because it would be a very, very sucky situation. This is going to be the last game too. But it would be a very sucky situation to have a family member die, and then the next day you need to try and go find a
My shield for Argon.
job somewhere just
My
to pay
shield
bills.
for Argon.
And it just doesn't work that way. I mean, I remember a story, I guess I'll tell it next time, of just, well no, I can tell it now, of like, my dog that I used to have got sick and I had to give him away, and I nearly had to give him to the pound, and almost certainly he would have been put down, because he was just sick and needed these pain pills for the rest of his life because he had hip dysplasia.
Pay attention,
his
class.
basically hip bone was not in the hip socket right, and he was in major pain, and the dog was sitting funny for for a long time before I even recognized that that's what it was the problem. I had to take him to the vet and go, what's the deal here? And they figured it out, and so I was able to give him away, and I assume that he lived out or is still alive today. It's very good possibility he's still alive today. But just losing the dog from being in my life was such a depressing thing that, like, the next day I had to go to work. I couldn't take days off at this job because they were major jerks and wouldn't give anybody any days off for practically any reason. And so I was just so sad and depressed that I guess they could tell I was sad, and they just used it against me to say I was doing my job. So here I'm getting in trouble with this job where they had already were trying to fire everybody at the job, and so they were using it as an excuse to try and fire me. And so all of a sudden, losing a job from your life becomes this snowball that rolls. Losing a dog from your life becomes this snowball where you're potentially losing your job. And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't even mentally handle trying to start a new job within the first couple weeks of losing a family member. And you can't get like bereavement pay for a job you don't have, and YouTube doesn't give you bereavement pay, I guarantee you that. So, well, if you actually worked for YouTube and not just made videos on YouTube, maybe you'd get bereavement pay there.
What to do?
So, and there's no insurance or anything that would cover
Someone's out
stuff
on me.
for very long. And it could be for a very long time. On top of which, if I had to leave doing YouTube, I would just be miserably depressed, no matter what. Because I really do enjoy doing this, and I really did not enjoy doing any of the other jobs I had before this. They were all miserable things. They felt like huge wastes of my life. They were not fun. They were not interesting. They made me totally miserable.
Ready to ride.
So I would already be miserable. Last time I started a new job, I was having panic attacks before it even started. And when I got to that job, it was as miserable as I expected it to be. No, that's not right. It was way more miserable than I expected it to be. So, I don't know, it's probably something with me, I just cannot handle a lot of these jobs, and it sucks, but I don't know, I just can't handle the stress, and I feel a lot more stressed than most people. I wish I could be like, it seems like a lot of other people have stupid jobs where they just don't care about it. Say it's fine and ignore everything, but it just affects me differently. People are different. Hurry up and win and or lose. We've been going long enough. So yeah, I'll wrap up this recording saying if you want to support me, click that button on my main YouTube page, as I always do. And it really just needs to stay that way. It's like, if you want to support me, which I hope you do, click that button. If you feel like you don't want to, don't. I'm not. I am somewhat already begging for donations, but I'm also giving a product, and I'm also putting my heart out here. And if you like it, if you want to help me. If you like me, and you can help. If you don't, if you think I'm just begging for people, then just don't donate. Fine. I get it. I get it from both sides. I understand. I've seen plenty of people on YouTube who try to beg way too much.
I hope you like
People
my
that
invention.
potentially have a lot more income than you would think. Yeah, I've lost. And then I've seen a lot of poor people that get help or don't want help. That's fine. Well, this has been a long one. How much more do we have to do? At least we're making some decent progress. Well, we didn't make any progress this recording, actually. Alright, we need to get one more mage victory, and then we could do either 2 more mages or a shaman, so that's something. Anyways, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.